So, Mike, the same way we have you on our show, Peter King goes on our midday show once a week. And every time Peter King has been on since the season ended, without fail, he says that Russell Wilson is going to end up in Pittsburgh. Now, you know Peter very well. You do shows with Peter for PFT Live. When Peter says that, does he know something? Like, take us behind the scenes here. He keeps saying that so authoritatively. How much stock should I put in it then, Mike?
Well, and look, my first question whenever I hear something like that secondhand is I'd love to hear exactly what he said, because I know Peter well enough that if I actually heard the tape, I would know how to interpret it. But I will tell you, in this business, there are plenty of occasions when we know things that we can't report, and there will be times when, for example, someone will say, look, this is what's going to happen, but don't even say it as a source told you. Don't even have any breadcrumb trail for anyone to try to detect. Just say it. Just say it like it's your idea, and you'll be right. So sometimes that's what happens as well. Now, I don't know that we'd be at the point where we can predetermine that Russell Wilson's going to be the quarterback of the Steelers or anyone, but I do believe that he will be cut, and I do believe that he will be inclined to take a minimum level salary to go to another team for 1 year and have the Broncos pay the rest of the money. I absolutely believe that that could happen, if not will happen. Whether it's the Raiders or the Steelers or somebody else, I think is all to be determined.
I think Pony, do you have it brought up here? It's you said to us there at the start, Mike, that you always want to hear just like how it was asked and how he responded.
Here's one of the clips.
This is a clip.
He's been doing this every week.
I would not rule out Russell Wilson there. I think if Mike Tomlin had his way, I think he'd want to get a guy who is a veteran quarterback in here who will make sure that you enter the season with a fighting chance against three teams in your division, all of whom have a better quarterback situation right now than you do.
So that's one of them.
I've known Peter for 20 years. I think that is just his idea. Okay. That's my read on it.
Interesting.
Well,
that's not something that he knows, that he just thinks it makes sense.
Okay, because he was asked straight away, I think, earlier this week. That was from like 2 weeks ago, Mike. It was just Russell Wilson's team in 2024 is... He was asked to do word association, and he just said the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was his quick response. So he's very married to that idea. Speaking of other quarterbacks that the Steelers might want to kick the tires on, what's the Justin Fields price going to be, in your opinion, in terms of a trade?
Depends on how many teams are at the table. That's the key. And that's why one of the most important aspects of potentially trading any player is to create the impression that if you don't get the price you want, you'll just keep him. That's hard to do in every case. But if you don't have that, and if you can't create the impression that you're seriously considering keeping him and trading the first overall pick and making a team around Justin Fields, which is frankly what I think the Bears should be doing, then you just need multiple teams at the table. And the more teams at the table, the greater the price you get. And then it just comes down to how the Bears are able to pull it off. Look, what the Texans did 2 years ago with Deshaun Watson was masterful. You basically had to be pre-qualified for the mortgage to even have a chance to talk to Watson. They had their terms. You had to meet them to even have a chance to talk to him. And the fact that they knew there were going to be 4 teams ready to go talk to him, it made it easier for them to dictate the terms of the trade. So, if there are enough teams, the Bears could do that and say this is what's going to cost. And it's all going to be driven by how much interest there really is in acquiring Justin Fields. Could you get a first-round pick for him? Absolutely, if you're the Bears, if there's enough teams that want it.